Hey everyone, good morning. It's Chris here from Midwest Coaster Fans. I'm going to go ahead and play the commissioners meeting from yesterday, December 7th, 2020, in White County Commissioners meeting. Eugene Staples is going to talk for about 13 minutes on here. And from this, we're going to gather a bunch of information. And I hope you enjoy this part. So we're going to gather a bunch of information on here. Then I'm going to do some talking points. And then we're going to talk about the location of the new coaster, the new boat slips going in, the restaurant, other information. And then we're going to talk about what he talks about in here, a future coaster in about a year from now. So in the year 2022, they're talking about adding another major coaster to Indiana Beach. So let's go ahead and listen up to this meeting. I hope you enjoy it, and I will comment as it goes on here. But go ahead and enjoy it.
Don't let it fool you. It's going to need cost about $6,000 a truck to bring it here, and it's going to require about 50, 60 trucks to get it all in, plus refurbishment. So it's still a seven-figure plus investment to get the ride in, up, and operating. So it's a substantial investment that we hope not only pays off for us, but pays off for the tourism for White County and for all the other businesses as a whole as we roll into next year and hopefully come out of this COVID crisis that we're in with the vaccine allegedly coming, and things can hopefully turn a little bit back to normal and people won't be as nervous as coming out. But either way, the reception we are seeing on the internet is that people are very excited about this ride, that we did a lot of research on this ride before we purchased it and feel that it fits the park well because for those of you that are not roller coaster junkies in the audience, it has a lot of history, positive history to it actually. It's almost like buying a piece of artwork, if you will, because of these special name behind the designer and the engineer that designed it and had it built originally. So it says a lot in the roller coaster community. It's going to bring a lot of tourism to this town and this county, and that's what we were looking for when we got it, is to help spike attendance by a minimum of 10 to 15% over the historical 5 years prior. So with that being said, we also have acquired some other additional rides. We're pushing forward with the promise to put in the additional slips this winter for the boaters in the lake. We've engaged contracts for that, so that's going in this winter. And then just other continued park improvements along the way. And I know I had some conversations with both Randy Mitchell and John briefly, but we're looking that it's a partnership, and we're looking to reach out to the other businesses in town to really kind of help shore everything up. So when people come to town, especially for the first time, and they're driving to Indiana Beach, that they get a really good feel about what Monticello is, what White County is, that everything looks up to snuff on that drive in, and especially down that drive down Indiana Beach Road with those other businesses. So we're reaching out to those other businesses and pushing them to invest in their business, pretty things up, and make it good for everybody, so that when we get these tourists and these first timers in, they want to come back. So that's really a major goal of ours this winter, is to work with the other businesses and try and get everybody on the same team. So that being said, I'm open to any questions anyone may have about anything. So. None?
Yes. I have a question. The cabins used to be along the lake at the end of what used to be the sort of the main entrance there. It appears they've all been moved into the campground area. Has that been a positive thing?
Some have. We didn't move them all. One of the things we felt, and it goes into kind of the reshaping of the park and putting things into order. And we felt like the way the cabins were kind of there in the middle of the parking lot, they weren't very attractive. We looked at the historical comments on those, that a lot of people that rented them thought they were gonna get one that was similar, that was along the lakefront, that are next to the beach clubs. And then they get stuck with one in the parking lot in the past, and they were not too happy. And so we decided that things more symmetric, and then B, just to clean up the look, it's not so broken up. And move those to the KOA. And so we moved those to the KOA and set them, but we actually didn't rent them this year. But the one thing I will say is that we have in the back corner of the KOA campground, I think there's 6 similar cabins, all of different configurations. And those were historically very popular in renting those over there. And so that's why we brought the 8 cabins from the parking lot over there to hope to help drive that. But with everything going on, we couldn't get them online. We moved them over there, we set them. We actually never finished building the deck and everything else that needed to go with them, just because we were so focused on really the park at that point. So it was a time issue. So this year we're hoping that the decks will be done this winter. The skirting, they're not really, they're plug and play, but plugging them in, plugging the sewer in, getting them painted, and then, but we believe based on the historical use of those other 6 cabins in the KOA campground, that those will have good attendance, also, or good occupancy.
I think you've done a really good job. I especially like that new stuff that you used out there that people haven't seen in a long time. That stuff we call paint.
Yeah.
I think you've done a really good job fixing that up.
I appreciate Art. Yeah, no, it's we're buying more paint. So, we're buying a lot more this winter. So we're gonna deal on some paint to. We were trying to decide what to do with the boardwalk, because I don't know if any of you know, it's rather slippery, because when they did paint it, they didn't put any non-skid in it. So whenever it gets wet out there, it's gonna slick, and it's looking a little wore out. And we had hoped to blast it off last year, and the company that quoted us blasting it kind of reneged to the 9th hour, and changed their price by a few $100,000 from about $70,000. So we're going to, we decided the most economical and the best looking solution is to repaint the entire boardwalk again, but this time using non-skid with the paint. So I think we're buying about a truckload of paint for that. So that'll take place this spring, right before we open. So. Yes, sir.
Gene, I get a lot of questions about your plans for the Sky Room.
Mm-hmm. The Sky Room, we've already gutted out the carpet, and basically we're doing just a redecoration of it, and then it will be open this year. It'll be kind of hybrid of what it was and what it will be. And
Okay, so just to go over some talking points, we know that Quimera will go into the parking lot next to the Steel Hog. That was talked about at the beginning. New boat slips for a waterfront restaurant on the south end next to where the Tig'rr is at. There's already boat slips there. They're adding additional boat slips there. New non-slip paint will be added to the boardwalk. The previous owners painted the boardwalk and did not use the correct type of paint. Also, there's going to be a refurbishment and a redoing of the Skyrim that he's talking about right now. Also, he's talking about adding major rides every single year until the 100th anniversary. So every single year, they're going to add a new major attraction to Indiana Beach. That is kind of the conclusion of what he's talked about at this current time. Let's go ahead and listen to further what he has to say, and then I'll go ahead and talk more about more of the talking points that he talked about during this meeting.
I guess the best way we describe it is, it's going to have, an updated kitchen, a fresh room with appropriate color scheme and carpeting and flooring. And it's going to have kind of a hybrid menu where during the day and midweek at the park, it's a sit-down restaurant with maybe on Friday and Saturdays, maybe it's a little more upscale food available for people. So kind of a hybrid of what it was. But it's something we're looking forward to bring back online, because I know that this year, with the shortened season, it didn't hurt us too bad, but there was limited food offerings because we had that and we could close down one of the restaurants in the park to kind of retool it for this year. And that's what we're going to turn into, kind of a waterfront bar and grill along with the slips where it's accessible by the water, whether you have a park pass or not. So.
Along with Randy's question, I know this is something that always comes up in, for the sky room, will you be able to eat at the sky room?
Yes.
Without a seat?
Yes.
Without pass?
Without pass, yeah. You'll be able to eat at both the sky room, or if you come by water, and we're trying to figure out a solution to make it so even if you don't get there by water, we're kind of laying things out right now as far as the path to get to that waterfront bar and grill we talked about. We'd like to also make that available for people that maybe don't boat up, but would like to access that. So we're definitely doing the sky room, and definitely the waterfront bar and grill will be accessible whether you have a pass or not, those two restaurants. And we're hoping that we can configure some sort of nice walking path from the lot to there. We had that plan before we bought the roller coaster, so now we're trying to figure out because we are placing the roller coaster, so everyone's aware, in that front, what they call the $7 lot, which is to the west of the Steel Hog orange and black roller coaster. So it'll be the first thing you see when you drive into the park on that entrance. On your right will be the 3 loops and that roller coaster. And to give some perspective, that roller coaster is 108 feet. So it'll be about 13 feet taller than the Steel Hog. So, and going over 100 feet with the airport nearby, we are applying for FAA approval, and it's currently illuminated with aircraft warning lights. And we assume that we're just going to keep those on there. So,
how are the sale of passes for next year going?
You know, never as robust as we would like, but
I would imagine people are still.
Yeah, and that's what it really is. The feedback we're getting is, you know, not knowing what next year's going to bring from the pandemic standpoint. People are a little shy, but we're about a total of 1,500, so not that far off of between last year's sales and this year's sales. There's a 1,500 pass delta. So between the 2 years, but like I said, we're hoping that the roller coaster would overcome that. But I think some people, like you said, have the philosophy of let's wait and see what's going to happen with the pandemic before we commit. Anybody else?
Other questions?
All right. Well,
Well, if not,
yeah, you guys, you know, anybody can feel free to reach out to me, and be happy to talk or walk around. But you know, I know this is all on the record, with Don being here, but off the record. But off the record, we have we actually acquired quite a few new rides, and our idea is that through now on the 100-year anniversary, we're going to be launching one major new ride per year. Which will include a second new roller coaster here within the next year. So, which will really put us in line with any major amusement park in the United States. So,
how much time, everything was new, everything happened in a hurry. How much time do you think you've actually invested, or maybe more than you thought you were going to invest now standing up here?
you know, I'll tell you this, the pandemic really freed me up. But you know, this, honest to God, you know, we came to this thing one way, and it doesn't, to me, it doesn't even seem like work. It's a great passion of mine, and hours don't really matter, you know. It's just kind of the way it is, right? And it's something I love doing, and my family loved being there, and it's gone beyond anything I ever expected. So, you know, it was kind of a business venture with high interest to something that really, in the end, brought my kids and I very close, and something we did together. And, you know, I go back, otherwise a great thing. So I can't thank you guys enough, because personally, besides business, it's been one of the most amazing things, so, for me personally.
Well, and as one gauge, I think we mentioned in our joint meeting last month, our tourism board had looked at the income coming in from the innkeeper's tax. And Kayleen had said that a lot of other counties in Indiana were down 40 to 50% from years past. I believe ours were down 9%. Is that right, Jan?
That's correct.
And actually, the months August, September, October were pretty much in line with the year before, which is really encouraging. And most of that due to the success of Indiana Beach.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm only hoping that once everything goes away and things snowball and that it's only get bigger and bigger and better for everybody and all the businesses. And once we got this little funk we're in, so yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. So yes.
Gene, can I just say, I just want to thank John and George for the amount of time they put into this. First of all, I know the hours and hours and hours, but really, this was a difficult vote. I know for me as a counselor, and it was just all built on trust. We had to trust you, and you had to trust us, and I just cannot tell you how thankful I am for what you've done. When I talk to businesses around Indiana Beach, and I talk to employees, is a tremendous effort that you've put in, and your family is involved, and you're everywhere. That's what I hear. He's everywhere. And I know you've sort of become a local celebrity. I see photos of you on Facebook all the time. But I just want to thank you. You certainly have, it's been worth, I think, for this community. I'm on the tourism board, so I understand. Just thank you for all you've done and the integrity that you've shown, and that trust really does work. And I just appreciate it so much for what you've done. We just want to continue to be as helpful as we can to you.
No, thank you very much. Like I said, but it's gone beyond my expectations. So I can't thank everyone in this room enough. And like I said, it's something we're looking to have as a long term. And like I said, I eventually assume I'm going to become a resident of White County here. So it's just a matter of time. So yep.
We welcome you.
Yep, appreciate it. All right, guys. So you know how to get in touch with me anytime. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Oh,
Yes.
I thought there was
Oh.
a hand.
Sorry, my mic was muted. So some talking points we want to talk about. Like I said, Quimera is going to be located, or Triple Loop. We're going to call it Triple Loop for now, right? We don't want to call it Quimera. That has a bad history, but that is going to be located on the gravel lot. And I'll show you here. Give me just a second to go ahead and share my screen over here. And all right, so I'm going to share the screen over here and talk about a couple different things. Okay, I'm able to bring it up here so you guys can kind of see everything. Okay, so if you guys watched my live video, the video from the other day, so I was able to get shots across the way. So right here is where Polyp's located at. We verified the cars are here. Most likely Polyp's probably going to go either here, which we don't think there's enough space for it over here. We think it's going to actually occupy where 0G used to be at. But right here is the Tig'rr restaurant. It's been many things over the years, but these are the boat slips right here. Can you see where my arrow's pointing at? These are the boat slips right here. These are going to be where the boat slips are located at. The restaurant is right here. So there's going to be a waterfront restaurant right here. Now going over to where the coaster is located at, I'm going to take this off here so you guys know what subject we're talking about. So if we look over here, we could see that this is where the new coaster is going to occupy at. So here's where Steel Hog is at as my mouse arrow is pointing. And this parking lot. So word is going in that there might be building a new maintenance shed right here. And obviously there's going to be a walkway. We imagine the walkway is going to go right up to right about here where the new coaster's at. This new coaster's probably going to occupy this area right here. Now, I'll show you the video here in a second. Again, maybe from YouTube, but we talked about there's steel on site right here, right? So there's already steel coming in to Indiana Beach and for the new triple loop coming. And as Eugene Staples mentioned, there is a new, or there's going to be about 60 truckloads coming in and out of Indiana Beach, dropping off this new coaster after it's been refurbished. Now, he talked about also the cabins. There was cabins right here that were removed, as you can see right here. These were removed for the 2020 season over to KOA. We anticipate more things could possibly be happening. We anticipate maybe this might eventually, because this is like a small hotel. We don't know if they plan on keeping that or not. Nothing has been announced for the water park as of right now. So no talking points of the water park. Now we can talk about the boardwalk here. So if you go down here, you can see the boardwalk was repainted in years past to gray. They are going to be using a non-stick type of paint. We don't know what color they're going with, but they will be using a non-stick type of paint. Now, hold on just a second here. So, you can see kind of an overview of the actual park here. And now we need to find out where this new location of this new coaster would be at. He said they have plans to build a new coaster, and it would be opening in 2022. So, I just don't know where they would put it at. I know they have a plan for it, unless they plan on utilizing this, or building a new access and maybe a new coaster on the water. Who knows? The one coaster I think that would fit this park, and I'll go ahead and show you guys it, is the new racer model. So Intamin has a new racer model that would fit this park perfectly due to the fact that it's made for compact parks. However, I mean, it's uncertain at this time. And I'll go ahead and show you guys this video here. It'll take just a second here. I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to re-add. I'm going to share the one I'm talking about here. So, and then we'll go back to what I'm talking about. But this is the new Hot Racer model. Let's go ahead and make it bigger here so you guys can actually see it. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is the Hot Racer model. And this Intamin Hot Racer is, there's a couple different ones. So there's a single track, and then there's a racing track. This type of track could fit here. Also, we could look at possibly maybe an RMC Raptor. We could look at a couple other roller coasters that could possibly go in place, such as maybe a Skyrocket 2 model, Free Spin. There's a lot of different coaster models that Indiana Beach could go with. This one right here would allow them to fit the parks, basically the park's current space, due to the fact that you can squeeze this thing in about anywhere because it's a single rail. And some parks are going with it right now. Luna Park in Australia was the first park to go with it. So that is what we do know. Now I'm going to go into my other video here and kind of show you what I was talking about the other day with. Okay, so we're just going to go into this video. So I talked about this the other day here. So you could see right here, this is where the new coaster is going to be at Indiana Beach for 2021. This is where the Chimera coaster is going to be at. Hold on just a second. Why not use the existing walkway east of Steelhog? I'm not sure where they're putting it at, Carl. That's his question there. There isn't room, I don't think, for a new coaster. I don't know. They said they're bringing it in. It's buffering. Oh, that's not good. Yes. So, Carl, for your talking point, we already know that Quimera is coming to Indiana Beach. That's already been announced. Staples already announced that. It's going to be located just where I showed you at. We're talking about a new coaster for 2022 at this point. We're not talking about 2021 at this point. 2021 is the one we're talking about right now. This is the location, and I just showed you where that location would be at. We're going to talk about the 2022 coaster here in just a second. But yeah, this is going to be the area, the location of the new 2021 coaster. And if the video or I am buffering, I'm not sure why. The internet connection is kind of weird nowadays with everybody streaming everything. But you can see steel was brought in. We think that's for the station platform that's coming in. Not 100% certain on that. But this is going to be the new location for the new coaster. This parking lot right here will be the location for the new coaster. Now, I'm going to stop this video right here because we're kind of getting into some other areas now as well. So I'm going to go back to Google Maps here, and I'm going to show you the location of the new boat slips. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. All right, so right now there used to be campground boats that were utilized. You can see them. They're parked in this old photo here. This is where the Tig'rr restaurant's at. It's also been known as many other things, but originally it was called the Tig'rr restaurant. They're going to add more boat slips here so you could get food here. And also Staples talked about right here possibly offering a entrance into the park, but you would have to have a pass. However, it's unknown if it's going to happen right away or if it's going to be in the future. I don't know why that just zoomed out like that. But you can see the location of that. So this is where the new boat slips are probably going to go in at. I'm not sure on how many they plan on putting in there. But those are locations for those boat slips. Now we look at new ride locations. Like I said before, we have an open spot right here where the old Growler used to be at. That could fit a new flat ride in the future. Not sure what the future of double shot holds. Hopefully we continue to see that. We have verified the Falling Star is not going anywhere, so we could stop with that rumor. That rumor was started by some park employees that was spread like wildfire. The park's already confirmed they are not removing the Falling Star. We have heard in the future that future platforms might be added on the water here, but we are uncertain at this time what they plan on doing with the South Island. So the South Island at this time has nothing occupying it. Now, as you can see right here, this could be a possible future location, maybe for a station for a future coaster. I don't see how it would be, because if you look, there's a possible way it could be, but I mean, if you look over here, you'll see this is just the this is a station just for the Hoosier Hurricane. And then if we go over here, you'll see the station for the Cornball Express. So there's a possibility they have enough room to build a station here, but then the rest of the ride would have to basically go over the water here. And I'm sorry, I'm over here talking about the location of a future coaster. So this would be the location of the future coaster, maybe. You have the South Island here, or I could see them doing this. So this is all speculation, obviously, so let's not bother the park about this or anything. But you see all these over, you see, okay, so the VIP lot over here, it's a great lot, don't get me wrong. But what happens if they took this VIP lot and they basically moved it to a different area? So instead of the VIP lot occupying over here, they move out the entrance over to here. So the park footprint goes all the way up here and over here. And then this area right here could be the new VIP lot. You wouldn't have as many parking spaces, but it would allow them to spread the footprint over to here with no problems. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Because this is a lot of information, and this is something that I've thought about a lot, knowing the park. Now, if these two resorts here sell like they have in the past, the park could easily add more footprint over here. However, if you look at the parking here, Indiana Beach has plenty of parking. You've got this location over here. They also could use the campground if they need to. And then you have this huge parking lot over here for the south lot. So parking is not scarce. So possibly maybe they get rid of the VIP parking lot in the future, or they could shorten it. And maybe this hotel right here, since it's not utilized a lot anyways, maybe this hotel right here, and then you have the space go right over here, and then you have a lot more space to build the start of a new coaster at Indiana Beach. So I'm not 100% certain where this new coaster will go at, but let's take a look at the Hot Racer model again and a couple other things. I'm actually going to do a compilation of it because this is the new Hot Racer model, all right? So we're going to go over this one more time, and then we're going to be done with this live stream because we don't have any information on where this new coaster is going to be going at. So let's go back to what I was talking about before. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share this video of the new Intamin Hot Racer model. And like I said, I don't know what they plan on adding. I'm just saying this would be a good fit because it's compact and it would fit a park that is compact like Indiana Beach. So let's go ahead and look at that. Looks like we've got new comments over here. Okay. Very true. I hope they don't add a free spin, Edward. Free spins are boring and you can find them everywhere. Indiana Beach has always added unique coasters and rides. I agree. If you look over here, and if I'm freezing up, I apologize. I think I'm freezing up a little bit. This streaming thing's crazy today. So this is that compact coaster I'm talking about. So you can see that it's very compact. You can do anything you want to it. You could add to a footprint like Indiana Beach. You can maneuver it in and out of the midway on the boardwalk. You can make this thing as long as you wanted. Have you been to Indiana Beach before? If you have, then you've ridden Tig'rr. Tig'rr is a Schwarzkopf coaster. And that's a single rail. And that's Intamin's new one that's coming out. Now, there's other people saying, it could possibly be a free spin. So let's look at that possibility for the 2022 new coaster. When I'm saying new coaster, I'm not talking about the one for 2021. I'm talking about the new future coaster that he mentioned in the video. So in the conference, he mentioned that they would be adding in a year a new coaster. We're not talking about the triple loop that's already been confirmed. We're talking about a coaster that has not been confirmed yet. So if we go over here and I type in here free spin, S free spin, right? This is what a free spin is. Now, because the free spin is compact, I could see them possibly looking at something like this. And it would be a good boardwalk coaster. However, I don't know what Eugene Staples plans on adding for the foreseeable future to Indiana Beach. I think it's going to be coming down to either it definitely won't be a B&M probably because of the price tag, but I could definitely I could definitely see the park possibly adding a free spin, a Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 or Skyrocket 3 model, because I think Icebreaker's their Skyrocket 3 model. The Intamin Hot Racer. But yeah, this is the SNS free spin, in case many of you don't know what that is. And the SNS free spin has been put in a lot of parks across the country, and there's one 2.5 hours away in Gurnee, Illinois. So I don't think the park would add that type of coaster. And Indiana Beach has always been, and Indiana Beach has always added unique coasters and unique rides to its park, so I don't foresee them adding a free spin or a Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 model, but I could be wrong on that. The Intamin Hot Racer model would add something fresh and new to the park. And if you look at the coaster lineup, their coasters, while their coasters might not be rated the top coasters in the world, they are rated unique. The Lost Coaster Superstition Mountain is ranked the #1 unique coaster by a lot of enthusiasts, by a lot of people around the world. But I doubt they add a Woody since they have 3 already. I agree on that. Quinn J, the Wizard is still a wonderful, thrilling ride that stood the test of time. I agree. Schwarzkopfs are very reliable coasters if they're maintained properly, and I think that the new Schwarzkopf Triple Loop at Indiana Beach coming in 2021 will be a great addition to the park. And I'm very excited about it because I actually was thinking about going to Mexico City and riding it, even though I was kind of on the border fence before. This was before the accident. Even though I was on the borderline of it because of it not having the same standards as we find over here. Now, I've heard Six Flags Mexico is fine because it adheres to Six Flags standards, but I heard the other park already had a history of bad maintenance anyways. Skyrocket 2 wouldn't be bad. Not one anywhere near. True. So I think it's going to come down to affordable models such as the Intamin Hot Racer, the RMC single rail coaster, or I think it could be the Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 or Skyrocket 3 model. You know, when I say the Skyrocket 3 model, and here I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Icebreaker. Sorry, I'm trying to bring it over here. I guess it doesn't matter whose I stream on here because it's all going to be the same. I'm going to support my buddy over at Midway Mayhem on this. So this is the, sorry. So this is what we call Icebreaker going to SeaWorld Orlando. This is what I call a Skyrocket 3 model. The reason I call it a Skyrocket 3 is because this is a new version of what they've already released. And it's kind of similar to the Skyrocket 2. The only difference is it doesn't have any inversions. So this is more of like a family friendly, but you could basically intertwine it in any type of layout that you choose to do so. And you can see it has multi-directional launches, and then it eventually launches you over a top hat. And that top hat takes about, 3 launches, I think it is, to get over top of it. This is the final launch. And then that's the start of the coaster. Obviously, this coaster is animated because it's not snowy in Orlando, Florida. And you can see it kind of intertwines, and it looks like a really fun family coaster. Indiana Beach has a history of family coasters. Obviously, the Triple Loop will be a family coaster. It's just going to be an extreme family coaster. But this is what I like to call a Skyrocket 3 model. I know it's not the official name of it, but I like to call it the Skyrocket 3 model. Edward Isom, Icebreaker looks like it could be a sleeper hit. I agree. But yeah, that kind of concludes the whole entire live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know 16 minutes of it was Staples talking about the future of Indiana Beach. There's a lot of promising things. He plans on adding a new ride every single year to the 100th anniversary, which will be in 2026. And he announced off the record a new coaster coming to Indiana Beach in 1 year. So if you're not excited now for the Triple Loop, get excited because this park has a lot of promising things in its future. And when they say new coaster, this is probably going to be a new constructed ground up coaster. But that's all I have today. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Thanks again for watching our live stream here. Midwest Coaster fans. I'm Chris signing out. And if I had a little bit of freezing during this video, I apologize. The streaming's been kind of weird today. Usually I don't have any issues with it as I switch internet providers, but for some reason today it's been kind of going in and out, and I'm not sure on that, why it's doing that. But I hope you enjoyed this broadcast and live stream. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification button for future videos that drop down from Midwest Coaster fans. And the Triple Loop is a perfect fit for Indiana Beach. I agree. Pilot Flying Bobs and Triple Loop all used rides. I still think they're watching the used market for deals on their one ride a year, Shuttle Loop 22. I think next year's, because I've heard in the grapevine and the rumor vine that I believe for next year, for 2022, not 2021, the new coaster that's unannounced, I think is going to be a ground up coaster. I don't think they're going to be buying a used coaster again. The reason why they probably got the Triple Loop is they needed something in between before this new coaster opened, and they needed something to boost their season pass holder numbers and to draw interest in Indiana Beach in 2021. Perfect fit, even after buying it, refurbishing it, and installing it. It'll probably be, $2 to $3 million, I imagine, to do all that. It's a great addition. It's going to make the park look a lot better. That would be cool. It's just the fact I don't know where they would put something like that at. So I definitely agree with you on that. But yeah, that concludes our live feed today. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, it's Chris signing off. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And I'll have more breaking news from all the theme parks later on this week here on Midwest Coaster Fans. Look for that live feed to drop on Thursday, which would be park news. We're going to go back to our original format eventually again. We did have multi-streams before, but we decided to go with just to YouTube, and then we could always just download this video later and then post it to Facebook for you guys to watch later. So have a great rest of your Tuesday. Look for future videos and stuff like that to drop down for Midwest Coaster fans. Also, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow us on there if you haven't done so yet. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube, because at 2,000 subscribers, we're giving away either a Cedar Fair Platinum Pass or we're giving away a Six Flags Gold Pass. So with that being said, have a great one, guys. Until next time.